I'm incredibly lucky because I get to read some of the greatest literature ever written, and share it with students, or share the creative process of playwriting with them, and that's just it's so fun that I'm lucky. I've always loved the theater, and the question of why and where that comes from. My parents were not involved in the theater, but I had a grandmother who lived in New York City, and she was very artsy. She was actually involved in costume design to some extent on Broadway. She was the assistant to a Broadway designer for a little while. Not that I necessarily knew that when I knew her. She died when I was 8, but she would bring my sister and I to New York City on regular trips, and she's really the one that introduced me to theater, and to the ballet and so forth.
I used to think, I took World Theater History with her last semester, and I used to get kind of bored talking about Greek theater, and we did a lot of Greek theater, and that's something that can easily get very dry. But Joan doesn't let it get dry because she's so excited that you have to get excited, and her arms are flailing. She gets so excited and so passionate about what she's teaching, you can't help but pay attention and be all right, this is awesome. And she knows so much about what she's talking about, especially in World Theater History, because she's got a DFA in dramaturgy, so she's really knowledgeable, and she's really willing to answer questions, and she's just a great resource to have.
A lot of times it's really helpful to get somebody else's opinion. We lose our objectivity when we're creating something, whether it's a play or a piece of theater, and it's always helpful to have a second set of eyes. And a dramaturg can be that for a playwright. A writing workshop is a cool class because you're creating. You're putting everybody in the class to some extent is somewhat vulnerable because you're putting yourself on the line when you have your work out there read. Everybody supports one another in that endeavor, and I think and really good, productive criticism happens, and learning happens.
I enjoy having Joan as a professor, mostly because she's so involved in what she does, and she cares so much about it, and she will do everything she can to give that love and give that enjoyment to her students. She educates you well, she gives you everything you need to know, and she's always willing to teach it differently, to work with you one-on-one, to help you out in order to make what you're doing and what you're learning interesting for you and make it the best that it can be.
But I love teaching. I love being able to share what I love with other people. That's just, it's so fun that I'm lucky.